What does it mean to truly push your limits? To step beyond comfort and into the unknown? For centuries, the desert has been a proving ground, a place where the courageous confront not just the elements, but themselves. This is the story of three individuals who chose to embrace one of the world's most formidable challenges. Under the guidance of Damian Browne and the Iron Mind Institute, they embark on a transformative journey, uncovering the resilience of their bodies, the boundless potential of their minds, and the profound depths of their spirit. Together with 14 others, they prepare to face the ultimate test, the toughest foot race on Earth. This is the road to the Marathon des Sables.
Your brain is always going to look for the easy way out. Each time your mind is looking for escape routes, and it's like you've got a decision to make. Do I take the easy route or take the route that's going to give me the most bang for me buck moving forward, you know? A huge part of Damian's training is to prepare yourself for that. Training is like, I suppose, like a vessel, right, where there's an opportunity within that training to learn things about yourself, and you've got to be willing to kind of take it on board, warts and all. So you're going to find good things about yourself in there, and you're going to find bad things about yourself in there.
Where you're going is so far away from everything. On a normal day, my mind is a million miles an hour, so I'm hoping that over there it'll be more of a calming experience, that I'll be able to take time to myself to reflect and deal with a lot of stuff that I still have going on in my head. It's going to be one of the biggest learning experiences of my entire life.
I've kind of used the phrase, it's about going to hell and seeing how long it can last. And like, you have to fight for every single second in these sessions. They take you to a different place altogether. All it is about stacking those seconds and winning those seconds. So we're here in Belvedere College, about to start Cycle 5 Week 4 assault bike session, which is 4 by 30 seconds sprints and then a 10-minute intra-block rest into 10 by 60 seconds on, 60 seconds off. So this idea of like work-life balance doesn't really exist. In many ways, doing something like this is quite a selfish endeavour, and I think you just got to say, hey listen, for this period of time this is what I'm doing, and then try and give back as much as you can on the other end, you know what I mean?
Become the greatest your bloodline has ever seen and pass it down. To be able to show that there's no limits, you know, there's no limits, and that's gonna really drive me over there mentally, and just always have that in my mind. I've really learned now that I can't really have any excuses, because I can make time when I need to.
Yeah, look, I think, you know, with Damian's training, like a huge bit is that kind of mindset bit where he has done these things, and I think, look, a lot of studying, a lot of research, and then obviously a lot of his own training and development, that he has put together a model or a system or a process to give you the tools necessary to get through that. So, you know, you could take a person who's a relatively beginner in terms of doing stuff like this, and with the tools that Damian has there, you could probably give them the tools necessary to work through this, where it's probably taken him years and years and years, and working with all different coaches, even in a professional aspect, to kind of develop this himself, which is pretty cool, you know? There's questions being asked of you all the time, and then your response or your ability to respond to those questions is where the growth comes.
4 by 30 seconds, max out sprints, with a 4-minute rest in between. That's block A, and then block B is 10 by 60 on, 60 off seconds, and there's a 10-minute intra-block rest. So this is one of them sessions where you have to be brave from the start. Like, you have to fight for every single second in these sessions. They take you to a different place altogether. Yeah, every fibre of your being is working at a I think unmatched level of intensity. Even now, that's over 2 minutes into the rest, and I'm still having to fight to control my breathing. It just shows you that absolutely. It's like my legs were sore and my legs were heavy, but I couldn't control how they felt, but I could control what I did, and that's what I done. The emotional fight is such a big part of these sessions. So I'm probably being a little bit hard on myself the last time, because although maybe I wasn't happy with the level I was operating at, I stayed in the fight. Today I was in the same fight, and I felt I won more moments of that fight. Still moments there where, still seconds that I didn't win, but I think the seconds that I did win in that session outweighed the ones that I might have succumbed to that.
Considering the fact that I'm 65 kilo and I'm going to be squatting 90, and when I started I was only squatting 50, so that's severe amount of progressive stress or strength since I started, you know. So clearly seeing an improvement, clearly seeing strength.
So,
Me as a person, I'm a very forgetful person. I don't know if it's just the way I'm wired, you know. So trying to make sure I have that with me, stop and get it down. Sometimes it can be, sometimes I forget, sometimes I'll write it down after the session. But it is very good. It's very good to go back and, especially, let's say if I wanted to know where I last was, okay, and then I have like 85 kilo for a squat. Last rep felt a bit weak. Next week I might keep at 85 rather than going up, and it has been like that for me. as knowing, right, tomorrow I am on that air bike and I am going to suffer. And you do it, you know, so that stands you.
Yeah.
Definitely with the other ones as well, the bike erg and all that, they will stand you tenfold, you know, because I'll just remember back and I'll be like, hang on, that was awful, let's do it, let's go, we're game on, you know.
Ultimately, your brain, your mind is the governor. That's what kind of stops people from doing things. Whether that's psychological things, you're telling yourself a story that you can't do something, or physiologically where you're like, oh, this is too painful, or I'm not fit enough, or I'm not strong enough. You know, I think we had a conversation about this before. It's like, right, what is the type of person that you want to be? And like align yourself with similar people like that. So obviously Damian is that kind of character where you're looking at what he's done and you're respecting that and say, some of the qualities that he possesses, I would like to possess. I think when you look at an event like this, it's like, right, the type of person who can train for that event and complete that event is a certain type of person. Biggest difference maybe between kind of this training and other forms of training is the psychological component. It's like Damian's 4 controllables. Very often in life, we kind of set up these psychological things. I'll be happy when, I'll be happy when I earn more money. I'll be happy when I get a new car. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy when I do an ultramarathon. And we can kind of put success on the cognitive horizon. And I think for people like we spoke about goals and a little bit like that. And I can be quite focused or fixated on achieving a thing and not really take the time and energy to appreciate the journey along the way. And I mean, listen, isn't that what life is all about? It's about a journey where we're all, the end destination is the exact same for all of us. But the difference is what we learn along the way, what awareness we develop, and then what we do with that awareness. So I think, again, on a much deeper level, outside of, I'm fitter and I'm stronger and I hit these performance metrics, the performance metrics are only a way to kind of delve into that deeper stuff, which is much more impactful and much more meaningful, if that makes sense.
So finally, as you can see, we have, I'd say, 95% of the kit here ready in front of us right now. There's a lot to it. The meals came in these packs. So you have breakfast and dinner, all 800 calories per pack. But there was no way we were going to fit all of these packs. There's 2 full ones, let's say, for them, all stacked up together in that bag, along with everything else. So yeah, we had to basically pick it all apart. The only thing that can ruin your race is your feet or getting sick. Other than that, he says, like, you should well be able to do it within your means, so they're the 2 major things.
So what we're going to do, when we go to the guy to get our shoes, he's going to sew them on. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. That's not
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
See these? Do you know what they are? They're towels.
These are little fiery things to heat up your water. So when you have your food, what's going to happen is your food comes in little packets, and you got to open them up and light a little fire to heat up your water to cook them. The biggest thing is going to be the weight of the food. So you're kind of looking at calorie density of the food that you're bringing, and you want to kind of keep it as light as possible. So for me, the food is coming in at about 7 kilos altogether. So it's going to be 7 kilos in the bag plus kit. I would say I have probably about 70% of the kit here, and I want to keep this bag maybe somewhere between 10 and 11 kilos. I think for me, so the way I kind of am looking at this, I'm going to have a base meal. So the base meal will be made up of Expedition Foods, a breakfast, which is going to be 1,000 calories. So that's the biggest portion that you can get from a calories perspective. So I think they come in like 450, 800, 1,000. So I'm going to go with the 1,000 portion one. So I'm going to have like a breakfast and a dessert as that's going to be about 1,500 calories. Then I will have a lunch or a dinner depending on the time, which will be another 1,000 calories, and then a kind of meal replacement bar, so a company called Real Meal, which are 600 calories. So for me, that's coming in at about 3,000 calories per day, just from that base meal. And then what I will do is, depending on the length of the stage, I'm going to have liquid carbohydrates. So the liquid carbohydrates will come in the form of a powder, and the powder will be in with your water. And then I will have something solid with that. Like, that's it. Now, whatever the case is. No way you're only going to have one pair of shorts for 6 days. Half the bag, it's like, I'll just be throwing stuff out. It'd be like, if I can get more food into it, that's what I'd be looking for. But again, that's where having the other bits and pieces is handy.
Let's see, here we go. So that is essential pieces of stuff in there. Yeah, so obviously I'm going to try and have the last day at the bottom. Then obviously the next, which will probably be, the days after. Day one is at the top, because if I get to the desert and day one is at the very bottom and I have to do all that again, that's a big no-no. This over there. There are my packs for the food. For my mattress. Ready to rock? Actually doesn't feel too bad, to be honest. It feels okay. It feels very comfortable. It's comfy on my back. Everything feels okay.
He teaches me about our wonderful world.
Oh, I love that.
It's one of my team.
Is it one of your favourites? Happy days. Let's go into it. Dad is very special. He's the best playmate for having fun. He is my safe haven when I need him. I love him every day.
People have died. You need to take it seriously. So just be prepared for that. Have all your admin, your ECG ready. They're going to ask you seriously. If you start acting the bollocks, they're immediately going to clamp down to that. That's when you're going to really start testing yourself mentally. This is all mental, this race. Okay, genuinely, it's tough. I really struggled on day 4. That's something I'm very ill at the end of stage 4. I'm kind of put the shit on me a bit, but just one step in front of the other. You all can do this, and you think you're about to die, you're only about 40% of what you're actually humanly capable of. So be smart about it. If you need to stop, stop. Take this seriously. My day 4 is, if you can get through day 4, your chance of finishing the race go up exponentially, because it's the last long days. My stage was 43k. I was coincidentally part of Sables. So that's where your MDS starts. Healthcare. And again, like, that's why I said to you, it's not the hardest race in the world. I'm not trying to burst your bubbles here. But you need to take it seriously. You need to take full ownership of yourself. Don't be intimidated by it. Everyone's intimidated. No one is not intimidated. You can walk from A to Z in this race, and that's just as big an achievement as fucking the Moroccans who do it one at a time. Okay? You can walk it. Don't. Your head is what's going to either, hopefully medically, or, you know, vomiting, diarrhea won't take you out, but your head will be the first thing that will go. Don't listen to your head. Like, don't listen to your body, listen to your head. Just get to the next checkpoint. But take ownership of as much as you can in the race. Like, what can you control? And you'll be fine. I started giving away stuff I didn't want to bring out just to make the last day easy, and the last phase of pure stampede. It's brilliant. It's like zombies running. Like, because you're just so depleted. You're so depleted on the last day. But you just jettison everything. Your bag is light. You're going for broke. You're making up any place that you want to make up. And then you cross the night, and then it's happy days. And the minute they get that medal, folks, around your neck, it is one of the best feelings of my life. Honestly, everyone's the same thing. So you're all going to do it. But it's tough. It's tough, but the last 2 days, you're feeling shit. It doesn't get any easier, it doesn't get harder. It is what it is. You just have to wolf it through. Mark, is it?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Sorry, now.
Oh, great. I'm delighted. That's what I thought in my head.
You're not going to have a kitchen sink and very able to wash it. And with those foods, when your body's depleted, you'll get sick quicker than over here.
Okay.
So, we've lost throughout that session. So whatever your normal session is, just going to do before and after. Then you're not obviously you're not going to know what the sodium loss is. You need to do that kind of special test that you would have got through. But we give you an idea if you're at least higher or lower.
It's like halfway between subjective and objective.
Yes, yeah.
So litres per hour, they lost 1.28 litres of sweat per hour. So obviously when you put that in the context of what you're at, you know, hours, like how long are you going to be spending on your feet to think? Like, could you do 10 hours?
If I'm a long day, we'll be closing in 10 hours. So basically like 4 to 7.
Yeah, so it's like there's significant numbers, I suppose. In terms of the actual sodium content in sweat, they found roughly where you had about 900 milligrams. So 900 milligrams of sodium per litre of sweat.
Through the shadow. Hello.
It's the black sheet on top, it's the carbon on the ground. They only move.
So we're back in Killary, and we are about 5 weeks from the start of the MDS. So we're here to peak our training in one component of our program, which is a rucking, or what we call time on feet. We've been training now for about 7.5 months. Started end of last July. And even from cycle 1, so we're into cycle 6 now of this training program, but even from cycle 1 we were doing what we called hiking / rucking in cycle 1, and rucking is basically just loaded hiking, so where you have some weight on your back. So we started with a 90-minute hike, and tomorrow, to peak this component of our training program, we have 12 hours on feet. It's a serious undertaking, and we're doing it in a mountain range called the Mam Turks, which are very wild and raw. So it's not exactly trail based. You know, you're making your own trail as you go as such. So there's significant challenges with the load, with the time on feet, and with the terrain, and you add all these things up and you get the perfect kind of environment for what we are training for, which is the Mountain of the Sables, clearly. So there's always the possibility of the unknown happening, and right now we're just peaking in different components. So tomorrow's the rucking, week 2 and week 3 we're going to peak our endurance running, and week 4 we're going to peak our strength. So by the time we get to day 1 of the MDS, you know, everyone is fizzing and, you know, ready to push themselves to their limits and beyond. I'm a father of 2 little ones, and I'm training significantly for this and future endeavours. So the time that is kind of taken out of my day on both of those things, running a business, you're left with sometimes not too much time to sleep, and with that you just heighten the chances of injuries, and that's just been the case, unfortunately, in certain moments of the last 8 months.
This is 100 man, I guess.
Well, it'll be longer, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be longer there. And once you're up, the last time you were
So
up,
on the beach?
so you just go up and you sort of been down off that. There's not as much.
Oh, I was going to say, it's not as much as that.
We're down to the club there. Right back after this. The 3 amigos.
Conor, the weather continued to look bad at the minute. So it was raining, but the sun feels looking handy, so.
Yeah, there's no issue wasn't raining.
So I mean, well, it's nice stops. That's the main thing in the yeah. Look forward, club.
Clubs starting to believe that we're here, like it's the peak climb on feet, so it's a milestone away from this peak distance out again. A few more peak sessions in terms of intensity on the bike, and then we're ready to go. So let's go through the same.
There's no double the elevation, so let's say like Anthony and Anthony was saying, Manchester elevation, you do it with the days in 50 and we're double that today, so it's going to stand most definitely, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, sound not coming back.
That bus is not coming back.
We are out in the beautiful Connemara Hills, the Manturk Mountains to be exact, and we are on our big final rocking training session for our Northern Sables team. So we're about 4 weeks from flying out to Morocco, and this is the major, this is the peak in terms of time on feet, the peak session for this component of the training program. So we hope to be out here for 10 to 12 hours, 12 hours ideally. Everyone's loaded up, 14, 15 kilos on their back, and yeah, it's going to be a grind. So I will fill you in as we go. Cheers. How far are we in?
Sit rep now, we're 16k in, 8.5 hours. And I don't even want to think of how long we have left. I'm not allowed to.
No, you can, you just have to, you know.
But no, phenomenal. Jesus Christ, fucking that last one was very tough out there, I have to say. And then we're trying to keep up with the guides, you know, it's just literally crazy fast. So
How's the body?
I'm alright. Yesterday now, I have to say, listening to your man, it's a lot more in tune with where I'm feeling things. So I kind of feel a hot spot in my foot, kind of just under here. So I'm kind of learning about that now, and now I know where I can adjust to that now, you know. And everything else seems to be alright. You got a little nickel in the hip going down the elbow, right back perfectly, you know. Not too bad. Thank God it's cleared up as well. So yeah, let's keep going.
We're working now. It's a good day so far. Some honest graft, some tough graft, and lots of graft. Across the team, we lost a couple, Jay and Paul Farley, through injury. A reflection on the hardship of this range. But the sun is setting, it's about to get dark. We have probably another 2.5 hours out there. So it'll get a bit interesting, but we're close to the end.
You know, I was stepping down off something and kind of just straightened it and jarred it, and then it was just getting slower and slower. Your man's like, "Look, I'm gonna be able to keep up here." Ribs, was it? It's a shit one, right? Because one bit of you wants to just keep going. Yeah, it's not ideal, but sure, here, listen, what can you do?
How are you doing?
Great.
Flying.
Great. Flying it. Yeah. My feet have enough water to sink a small boat, but other than that, we're doing great.
So you're feeling bad. That's not down to feeling bad. I'm like, just look around.
Thank you very much for an absolute Go fast, man, here. Thank you very much,
Well done, Max. Well done, John Wayne. You have white spots.
Yes. Well, yeah, that was almond one. You get Yeah.
Tiring. I'm honest. It was long. It was pretty arduous. We had a few casualties. We aimed, at least my hope was we get 12 hours on our feet. Time on feet is a really important metric for me and for the preparation of the group, we had 14 hours. So happy days, happy days. Very beaten up body, but personally I was very happy. Moved really well. Sessions are an opportunity to see, how all that work is expressed in moving through time and space and nature.
Although the race is there to be complete, and I want to finish the race, obviously, I think for me coming into this, this is way outside my wheelhouse, or this is way outside my comfort zone in terms of the type of training that I'd normally do or have done. So for me, like, leading into this, starting to train for this, I hadn't even run a marathon. So when you said to somebody, hey, I'm going to go and do an ultra marathon, they're like, you haven't even done a marathon, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to do it in the desert. So it is a big undertaking, there's no doubt about it. So, I mean, even, no matter what happens on race day, like if something went wrong, of course I'd be bloody disappointed, of course I'd be upset, of course I'd be angry. But I think on reflection and kind of then after that fact, whether it's a few days or a few weeks later, I think the whole journey of being part of the Ironman Institute, meeting the other guys on the team and on it, training with these people, like the journey has been a huge benefit as well. So it's not just the outcome that I'm kind of in the value of this, if that makes sense, I think anytime you go through some sort of hard experience as a collective of individuals, it can kind of bind those individuals together,
People were slipping on their arse in that last bit, and we were still able to laugh and have a joke, and that, that was probably my favourite part, smiling at the end, being like, yeah, like fair play to all of us, like we've gone through that together. We've got through it together, and we've got through it in good spirits. So yeah, that was very pleasing. Losing the plot isn't going to help the situation, so you just have to calm things down, center yourself, and plow on. When I complete the Marathon des Sables, then I'll feel a sense of achievement. Not for the faint heart, only for the whole heart. That's something I had said to myself during the week. And it will stand us in seriously good stead for what we have to do. Very, very good, I have to say, they really helped along. They're flyers, man. One of them with Alan, Jesus Christ, just trying to keep up with him, But we obviously had to be moving fast. It's a long, long day out, so. But wet. It's not like going on a run or that, something you have to be, it's so dangerous, especially when you're in that mountain range, the mountain walks are no joke, no joke, and everyone that hikes, everyone in the community knows that. So Darren, the guide, was an absolute hero. He really helped out with the lads that obviously got injured and everything else, and was making sure no one was at the back marker and everything else, and then he took Paul down just literally right at the end. And Paul went a separate way to us with Darren. But my God, it was just bog. We were going up to our shins, up to our knees in just bog, because you couldn't see. So you don't know, you're just looking at grass, and then you have your head towards your torch, and literally the minute you think but we were already soaked, so no one gave a rat's. It was just get me out. There was a river, literally a river, before we came up a path up to the main road to yourself, And it was, no, okay, we're going through it, forever. When training stops, and I know nothing, I just saunas every day before we go, So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, because then it's happening. Once the training stops, and then obviously 9 months hardcore training, we're all ready. We're all definitely ready.